Hey, so I'm gonna just start right away. Just gonna check if you can actually see me. Yep, should be fine. Maybe I can go a bit. Sorry, a bit more back. Yes. Yeah, nice. So you might want to use blocks for today. I have this beautifully sounding floor here. We'll see. So, welcome. We're gonna start lying down again because I think that's a very nice thing. And we're gonna do a chest opening thing. So, lie on your back and get one block or more like a firm pillow if you have one. But the block is good. And we want to place it between our shoulder blades. So, yeah, about like this height, so that there will be enough space for your neck to lie down. I'm just gonna turn on the light here. Okay, cool. So, try to lie down in a way that the block is between your shoulder blades and that you still have space to like put down your head and that it doesn't feel bad in the neck. Yeah. And if this is too intense for you, then you can also put like multiple buttoning also below your head, and then the whole curve is not so much. Yeah, try to find a way that you can lie rather stable here. You can also pull up your legs. That's a bit more comfortable, a bit more stable. You can have your arms to the sides, or maybe even a little bit higher up. And just breathe here. And feel this passive back bend. You can allow your breath to deepen, a little bit fuller inhalations, and deeper exhalations. And as you might already guess, today we will work with back bends. This is an area that I kind of don't like I try to avoid it for some time in my practice because I was never like particularly good at them and it's easy to hurt your back and so on. But like recently I also discovered that they are like actually pretty cool, and if done correctly you can create like a lot of strength in your back, which then allows you to give more opening in the chest, and all sorts of nice things happen. So I thought let's try to make this a part of my practice. And let's see what you make of it today. But for this kind of practice, for back bends, you should really be aware of your own limitations and your own spine and lower back and how it feels. And only go as far as you feel like it's possible today. So maybe already now, when you're just lying on your back in this supported back bend, you can feel how this is for your back. Is this something that is relaxing, or is this something that is already like, I don't know, creating some anxiety in you? Or see how your body reacts to this position. You feel like you had enough because this is pretty intense. You can start moving your fingers and your toes like as if you just came out of Shavasana. And then you can gently roll to one of your sides, rolling off from your support. And maybe you can rest for a moment on your side. And yeah, sorry, I'll just keep blowing my nose today because I just came back from outside and it's quite cold. So find yourself a good seat. And arrive in your seat, and maybe you already feel a little bit different. Like maybe you already feel this, the kind of imprint of the block on your back. And maybe it's natural for you now to open the chest a little bit and elongate the spine and sit up a little bit taller. Nice. Let's do one more inhalation here to elongate the spine. And exhale, ground yourself into the earth. And then we're going to start warming ourselves up. You can start rubbing your hands and your legs, saying hello to your legs, seeing how they feel. Maybe you were very active in the last few days and then your legs feel rather tired, or maybe you were sitting a lot and it's nice for them to open up to the sides. So check in with them, then check in with your hips, with the sides of your hips. Also with the lower leg, hello calves. And then you can move up to the side of the body. We're going to work a bit with the side of the body today, so you can say hi to it, saying hi to the belly. We're going to activate the stomach muscles today. And then you can go up to your shoulders, grabbing your arms. Shoulders can also move on their own volition. And then you can reach up with both of your arms. Oh. And exhale out. It's a little bit like as if you just woke up. Nice. And we're going to start by releasing the neck a little bit. So on your next exhalation, let your neck move to the right side. Inhale here. Exhale, roll to the center. And inhale up on the left. Exhale, center. Inhale up on the right. And if you want, you can make it even slower. Or you can go with the natural rhythm of the breath. And feel how your neck is doing today. And the next time you are to the right side, stay there. And we're gonna deepen this stretch a little bit by taking the left hand and putting it on the ground next to us. And if you want, you can also use the right hand to make the stretch a little bit deeper. But here I usually like to tilt my head a little bit forward and then stretching this like left back side of the neck. Yeah. And breathe into that space. And then inhale you one more time. Exhale, release. And release the shoulders a bit and shake out the hands. And then inhale in your center, and then your next exhalation, move your head to the left side. And then you can put your right hand on the floor next to you. And you already feel this like long line between the arm and the neck and the top of the head. And if you want, you can make it even deeper with the left hand, putting a bit of weight on the top of the head. And inhale here one more time. And exhale, release. You can let your neck move a little bit from side to side. And then move up your shoulders as you inhale. And exhale, roll them back down. Nice pumping thing. And then on your next inhalation, reach up. And exhale to the right side. Try not to fall down on your side, but rather move up and away from yourself with your left arm. On your next inhalation, come into tiny back bend here, your other opening from the shoulder. And exhale, tiny forward bend. Inhale back. Exhale forward. And feel how your hips are very stable here, so the left hip should be firmly grounded on the ground. And you have this mobility in the shoulder, in the arm, in the spine. It allows you to move back and forth. Let's inhale one more time here in the back. And exhale, allow your left hand to arrive on the right knee. And on your next inhalation, lift up the right arm and move it over towards the left knee. So rather towards the left side, not really moving in, but more upwards. Feel this opening on the right side of your body. Breathe into this. Let's take one more inhalation here. And exhale, bring down the right hand on the left knee. And now you kind of are in this little lock. So you can round the spine for a moment. On your next inhalation, bring up the arms and bring them into eagle arms. And lift them up here. Lift up the elbows and try to release the shoulders. So from the side, the elbows are moving upwards, the shoulders are moving downwards. And maybe for you too, it feels like a nice opening between the shoulder blades. Try not to round your back, but rather stay upright, or maybe even come into a tiny back bend here as you're moving up the elbow. Let's do one more inhalation here. And then exhale everything down. And move down, move around the shoulders a bit. And then inhale, come move up. And exhale, come to your left side. And plant down your left hand, or if it's too high up, then you can also come on your fingertips. And try to open from the right side of the body. Maybe you can notice that if you activate your stomach muscles here a little bit, it also grounds you down into your hips. And then on your next inhalation, lean back a tiny little bit just with the shoulder. So the hips are still stable, it's just the shoulder moving back. And exhale, moving forward a tiny bit. Inhale backwards. And exhale forward. Just a bit of exploration here. Let's do one more inhalation in the back. And exhale, move the right hand over the left knee. And inhale, move up with the left hand and move over to the right side. And try to elongate the spine again, so not fall into this thing, but rather become long and move away out of the right side, of the left side of the body down. Yeah. Let's do one more inhalation here. And exhale, bring down the left hand on the right knee. And come into this tiny forward bend. Inhale here. Exhale into this tightness. Then on your next inhalation, bring up your arms into eagle arms, so the arms are intertwined. Now it's going to be the left arm in the top. And as you inhale, lift up your elbows, elongate the spine. And exhale, bring down your shoulders. Enjoy this nice opening between the shoulder blades. then as you next time inhale, lift both of the arms up. And exhale, bring them down behind you. And as you inhale, open up the chest. And stay here for a while, pushing your chest forward. Breathing into this opening. Let your head fall back a little bit to keep the neck strong. Or you can have your chin tucked here, whatever feels better for your neck. And then come back to your center. You can remove the block or the pillow. And open your legs into a little bit wider Baddha Konasana. So instead of this very tight butterfly, try to create a bit more space and have more like a square or like this rhomboid shape in front of you. And then move a little bit forward your hips so you're really sitting on your sitting bones. And just start making some circles here. In one direction for some time. You can experiment with the size of the circle. You can hear all sorts of things happening in my joints. And then when you're ready, you can turn around the circle and do the other side. And checking with your hips and how they are today. We're going to work a little bit with the hips today too. So maybe you want to check in here. You can go a little bit deeper in the front. And see how your hips are doing. Now your next inhale, come back to your center, close the legs. Exhale here. And then you can put down your hands next to you, and on your next inhale, lift up both of the legs. And we're going to transition into the boat pose. So here, try not to round your back too much, but rather be more straight in the back. And then if you want, you can grab your legs, then it's a bit easier to lift them up. Or if you feel like you're very stable here, then you can try extending the arms next to your legs. But make sure that it's very hard to see in my sweater, but that your back is rather straight, so you're not doing this, rather like this. If you want, you can even try extending the legs a little bit. And then let's do it a little bit like this workouty vibe, so you can extend the legs a bit, coming closer to the ground. And up. Or if this is too hard for you, you can also just stay here in your center with your Navasana. And then you can put down your hands in front of you and gently lay on top of your legs for a moment. Nice. And then you can roll back and come into Navasana one more time. And this time just stay here for a moment. And then you can roll back to your back. And roll forward. And roll back. And roll forward. And try to do this thing that you roll back. You bring your butt kind of above you. Then you roll forward. You come on top of your foot. So on your toes. And try to do this a couple of times. If this is really hard or somehow it doesn't work, you can also just be in Navasana a bit more. So this is a bit like really waking up the entire back. And I'm getting used to a bit of movement in the body. And find this moment of stability when you arrive on your toes, very stable. And then moving back on your back. And then the next time you're in the front, you can stay here. And try to balance yourself here for a moment. Elongate the back. Try to kind of feel like you're really sitting on your heels here. Nice. And then place down your hands and step back into downward dog. And this is our first up today, so you can take your time to step back and Stretch out the back of your leg. For me, my calves are very hard today. Because I was biking in the last 2 days, I guess. And haven't done much yoga. And if you want, you can also bend your knees a bit and try to rather just extend. And then we're going to bring into a bit of motion here too. So we're just going to move on our inhalation forward into a plank. And exhale back. And move forward. And exhale back. Just warming up the same core as before. And then at some point you can, when you had enough, you can just stop in hours looking dog and stretch into your dog again. And then gently walk forward to the top of your mat, come into a forward bend, then inhale into half bend, exhale forward bend, and inhale roll the way up, and exhale arrive into Tadasana. And we're going to go through a few sense rotations and start preparing towards the pigeons. So arrive on the top of your mat, and then your next inhalation, reach up, exhale forward bend, inhale, step back with the right leg, put down the right knee, open the chest, exhale, step back, knee, chest and chin, inhale, cobra, exhale, downwards dog, inhale, step forward with the right leg, put down the left knee, open the chest, exhale, step forward, deep forward bend. Inhale, move all the way up, even you can come into a tiny back bend. And exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, deep forward bend. Inhale, step back with the left leg, put down the left knee and open the chest. Exhale, step back into plank and lower knee, chest and chin. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, downwards dog. Inhale, step forward with the left leg, put down the right knee, open the chest. Exhale, step forward into deep forward bend. Inhale, reach up. Tiny back bend. And exhale, Tadasana. And let's do a few more of these. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, deep forward bend. Inhale, step back with the right leg, put down the right knee, open the chest. Exhale, step back into plank, knee, chest and chin. Inhale, cobra. If you want, you can go up higher a little bit. And exhale, downwards dog. Inhale, step forward with the right leg, put down the left knee, open the chest. Exhale, step forward, deep forward bend. Inhale, all the way up, little back bend. And exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, deep forward bend. Inhale, step back with the left leg, put down the left knee, open up the chest. And exhale, step back into a plank, knee, chest and chin. Inhale, cobra, maybe a little bit higher. And exhale, downwards looking dog. Inhale, step forward with the left leg, put down the right knee, open up the chest. And exhale, step forward, deep forward bend. Inhale, reach all the way up. And exhale, release. And then we're going to go through kind of the same thing, but we're going to go a little bit slower. And we're going to focus on specific parts of the movement that will be really useful in the pigeon. So you're still on the top of your mat, and for the next part, if you want, you can take your blocks. It's especially useful if you have like relatively short arms to the rest of your body, like me. And it's very nice to have some blocks at this point. So be on the top of your mat. Blocks are really nice and handy. And then inhale, reach up. And exhale, deep forward bend. Inhale, step back with the right leg. Pull down the right knee. And exhale a little bit higher with the blocks. And what I would like you to experiment with, you can come out of this a little bit so you're not so much deep. It's that you really keep the hips looking forward. So it's really like, because we kind of tend to move forward with the front leg, like with the front hip, and backward with the back hip, so to create a little bit more space. But try to rather keep them aligned, and like that sinking back again. You can also achieve this feeling by like kind of activating both of the legs and feeling like as if you were pushing them towards each other. I don't know if that makes sense, but maybe that helps you as well. And then you can try to stay relatively deep with the hips. And then you can try to open the chest a little bit more. And here it's very nice to use the blocks, or you can also just be on your fingertips. And then maybe you already feel here in the lower back, there is a nice back bend happening. Actually, this is almost completely the pigeon pose that we are going to do today. It's just that the hips are not that open yet, so we're going to get there. So just feel how you are here, and remember this feeling of like stabilizing from the hips and from this feeling of the legs moving towards each other. Yeah, maybe if you want to experiment for a moment, you can also put your hands on your knee if you feel stable and come up a little bit higher. But you don't have to go there yet, we're still just warming up. And then you can remove the blocks if you use them. Let's take one more breath here. And then lift up the knee and step back into plank. Inhale here. And exhale, chest and chin. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, downwards looking dog. And stretch into your dog here for a breath. And then on your next inhalation, step forward with the right leg, put down the left knee, open the chest. And exhale, step forward, deep forward. Inhale, reach all the way up to the back bend. And exhale, release. And let's try this thing on the other side too. So inhale, reach up. And exhale, deep forward bend. Inhale, step back with the left leg now. Put down the left knee, open up the chest. And then as you exhale, you can arrive here. You can gather your blocks again if you like to use them. And then you can come out of it a little bit with your hips to the back, and then make sure that your hips are nicely aligned, so they are actually pointing forward. And with that, you can arrive back. And then try to push away with the arms. Legs are pushing towards each other. There is a lot of stability and energy here in your legs and in your core. And that allows your chest to open up a little bit more and your spine to elongate a bit more. Maybe I can go even higher, so maybe on the highest step. Nice. Just see what works for you. And be very aware of all the sensations now in your lower back. It's also a little bit of a balance pose, so if this feels not so stable for you, maybe you can try putting down the foot on the back. I don't know, maybe that helps. And then you can come out of it, take away your blocks, put down your hands, come back into plank, activate your core here as you inhale. And exhale, knee, chest and chin on the ground. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, downward looking dog. Now stretch into your dog for breath here. Then your next inhalation, step forward with your left leg, put down the right knee, open up the chest. And exhale, step forward into forward bend. Inhale, reach all the way up. And exhale, release. Nice, we're gonna move on a little bit more with back bends and working on this winning of the stability here. So stay on the top of your mat and we're going to do sun salutation 8, a bit of variation in here and there. So inhale, reach up. Exhale, deep forward bend. Inhale, half bend. Exhale, put down your hands and step back with both of the legs. And then you can inhale here. And then instead of cobra, we're going to come into tiny cobra. And then you can put your hands on your shoulders and start moving around like a snake. And keep breathing while you're doing this. And try to create this length between the top of the head, elongate the arms next to your body. And try to create this length between the top of your head and the tip of your toes. And just breathe here. And as you breathe here, maybe notice that you're kind of shifting on the ground. Then you can release down. And you can turn your head to the other way now. And just relax here for a moment. And for the third round, you can either do what you already practiced, or if you want, you can stretch your arms to the front, and then it's going to become a little bit harder to keep the thing. And if you practice the, what is this thing called in English? Bogen in German, Dhanurasana in Sanskrit. If you practice this thing, then you can also do that at this point. But if you have ever tried this again, then maybe this is not the time today to try. But I mean, you can always can. If you do Dhanurasana, then keep your knees close together. So choose a variation for yourself, either Shalabhasana with the arms next to your body, Shalabhasana with arms stretched out. In that case, try not to lift up your head too much. Or you can try the bow pose. Now you remember. So I'm going to try the bow. For me, it's a very, very challenging pose. I will probably not be able to be very deep. So wherever you are, come up to your pose that you selected. And just try to stay there and keep breathing. And feel the strength in your core. And wherever you are, keep the knees parallel. And keep the head facing down so it's more relaxing for your neck. And then let's do one more inhalation here. And exhale, release. And rest here for a moment. You know your breath might have sped up a bit, and now it's going back to normal. And then come back to your center, put down your hands next to your body. And move yourself back for a moment. Stretch out your back. And then come up to downward facing dog. And stretch out the back side of your legs. And then walk your way towards the front of the mat. Come into deep forward bend. Exhale here. Inhale half and stretching out the back. Exhale full forward bend. And then inhale, reach all the way up. And exhale, release. Space for yourself. And next inhalation, come down into your chair. And we're just gonna stay here for a moment. Try to elongate your back so you're not like doing a back bend here, but your back is really long. So there is this great distance between the top of your head and the end of your spine. And elongate your arms. Your back is really long. So there is this great distance between the top of your head and the end of your spine. And elongate your arms up, but lower down your shoulders. And maybe you can go a little bit deeper. And just feel the strength in your core building up. Let's do one more inhalation here. And as you exhale, move your arms behind you above your head. You can deepen the opening of the chest here by trying to bring the palms together. That will bring all of the arms closer as well. And then you can release the arms, let them dangle a bit. And slowly roll yourself up. And now we're gonna slowly roll yourself up. And now we're gonna do some balances. This is gonna be a first round of pigeon stuff. So make sure that you have a bit of space around you. And arrive in your Tadasana. Let's start with the right leg as the standing leg. Left leg comes up. You can make a few circles here. Just to play with your balance a bit. You can even hug your leg close to you for a moment. And then open your leg to the side and come into a tree pose. If this kind of tree pose is not working for you, you can also put your leg down here. Or you can even put your toe down next to yourself on the ground. Then you still have the opening, but it's a bit easier with the balance. I usually like to practice this variation because there's a lot of pressure here, which is really nice. So find this stability again that comes from these things pressing into each other. And then you can also bring your hands in front of your heart. And just enjoy as your stability as a tree. No matter how strong the wind blows, you're very, very stable here. Let's do one more inhalation here. And as you exhale, we're gonna transition into another thing. So release your leg here and place the left ankle above the right knee. For that, you will need to, I will show you from the side, you will need to like bend your leg a bit. So we're basically coming into chair pose, but with one leg on top of the other. So let's see if this works for you. You can also just practice 3 for the rest of this time if this is really hard. Or you can also go close to a bowl or something and put your hand there. And then if you are here, you can also try to, when you find your balance, you can try to bring your hands in front of your heart, or even you can extend them up, and it's a little bit, it's even more like strengthening on your lower back. And just like we did in the chair pose, try not to bend your back too much, but rather create this distance to the top of your head and the bottom of the spine. So you can arrive here or here, and maybe you can sit a little bit deeper. And maybe you can sit a little bit deeper. And try to lift up your gaze above the ground. And this is the flying pigeon. Pretty cool. And when you had enough, you can just step back and release both of the legs. And come back into your Tadasana and see how you feel. So let's try this experiment on the other side as well. So the left side is going to be the standing leg, right leg will come up. First, the right knee can move around a little bit. Just playing with the balance a tiny bit here. And so opening the hip a bit. And then when you feel like you're ready, you can bring up your leg. You can even hug it a little bit close to yourself. And then move it to the side. And place it against your thigh, or against your calf, or down here on the ground. And come into a variation of the tree pose. And you can bring your hands in front of your heart. And find your balance here, find your head. And just be here. And let's do one more inhalation here. And And as you exhale, we're going to release the front leg and place the front ankle above the back knee. And you will need to again come into a little bit deeper to allow this thing to happen. You need to have a bit of surface here. And then you can try to sit back into the flying pigeon. And again, try to keep the length in your spine. Keep the stomach muscles engaged. And you can even keep your foot active here. And just breathe. And if you think this is really nice and easy, you can also start lifting your gaze above and not looking at the floor, but rather looking up. And then the whole balance becomes a little bit harder. And then let's inhale here one more time. And exhale, release. And just stand here for a moment. You can also close your eyes. And just checking with yourself, take note. How are you doing energy-wise? How's your back? How is the spine? We have one more sequence ahead of us. It's going to be on the ground, but it's quite intensive. So just checking with yourself, what do you think you can handle today, and respect your own body and respect its needs. And when you are ready, come to the top of your mat. Make sure you have enough space behind you. And then on your next inhalation, reach up. Exhale, come into a forward bend. Inhale, half bend. Exhale, put down your hands and stand back into plank. Inhale here. And exhale, lower yourself. Inhale, come into cobra, upwards looking dog. And exhale, downward dog. And stay here in downward dog for a few breaths. Stretch out your back. Stretch out your fingers on the ground so the fingers are nicely grounded. The weight is spreading out on them. And then on the next inhalation, lift up your right leg. And exhale, bend your knee and open the hip to the left side. And try to center your hips as much as possible, and center your shoulders so the right shoulder can move a little bit towards the ground. And really only open from the right hip. And just breathe here. And on your next inhalation, stretch out the leg to the back again. And exhale, move forward and bring the left knee close to your chest. Inhale, move back. Exhale, move the right knee to the right side. Inhale, move back. Exhale, move the right knee to the left side. Inhale, move back. And as you exhale, bring the knee to the front. And this time you can raise it down in front of yourself. We're going to come into a powerful pigeon variation. So here, you might want to prop up your right hip. And you're basically already there. So what we're trying to do here, it'd be nice if I had pillow. Anyways, because maybe it's nice to have a pillow below your butt, and then you can use the blocks in the front. Because what we're going for here is, instead of the lying down pigeon variation, we're gonna do a back bend. So maybe it's helpful to bring some blocks here and try to align your hips so they're both facing forward, and open up the chest upwards. And what you should feel here is that there is this long line from the bottom of the left foot. And you can go as much up as you want here, like as much as it feels good and stable for you. And this is the first step towards the king pigeon pose. Because the king pigeon is a variation where the leg is also bent. So if this is really easy for you and you want to get a little bit more out of this pose, you can also bend the back leg and try to bring it closer to your upper body. And if it's still not enough, then you can also try to reach for it. But again, that's optional. So really the difficult part, or the really tricky part, is just achieving this stability in the core and in the lower back. Let's take one more breath here. And as you exhale, you can come down from your blocks if you use them. Then release the back bend. And then take a step back into downwards dog. And stretch out your back. And then here, if you want, you can go through one vinyasa if that helps you twice, so you can move forward and come down, and go back down. And we're going to do it from one side. And then we're going to move on to the other side. So on your next inhalation, lift up the left leg to the back. And exhale, bend the left knee and move it over to the right side. Opening up the left side of your body. Try to center your shoulders, so they're both facing the ground still. And really open just from the hips. And then bring back your knee. Inhale here. And exhale, bring your knee close to your chest. Inhale, move back. Exhale, bring your knee to the left elbow. Inhale, extend to the back. Exhale, move the knee to the other side of the right elbow. Inhale, extend to the back. And exhale, bring your left knee in the center, and now you can place down your left knee, left foot, coming into a pigeon. But instead of falling forward, we're going to be very, very strong pigeons today. So again, if you want, you can use blocks here under your arms. And come up to your back bend here. So try to move the right hip down. It's really parallel with the left hip. Again, you can also prop yourself up here under the butt. I just don't have enough stuff right now to do that. Like basically what you don't want is that you don't want the left hip to kind of fall out to the side here. So instead you want to keep it centered, and for that it can be helpful to have something below. But you can also just kind of balance yourself there. Anyways, try to keep the hips level, and from there on you can lift up and come into a back bend. And maybe you can come a little bit higher even. And if this is still not enough for you, then you can also experiment with bending the leg here. And I think it's actually even harder if you don't reach back. If you only really try to bend the leg from the strength of the leg itself, that's quite hard. And if your foot cramps, then that's kind of part of the story. So maybe you tried to bend the leg, maybe you didn't, that's also completely fine. Let's take a few more breaths here in the back bend. Then one more inhalation here. Exhale, put down your hands from the blocks. You can remove the blocks now, you don't need them anymore. And then step back into downward dog. And stretch out your back in the downward dog. And let's do one more inhalation here. And as you exhale, you can walk forward. Down to the forward bend. Inhale, half bend. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, release. And then you can sit down on the ground, find your own very elegant way of sitting down. And very soon neutralize with a couple of twists here. So stretch out your legs in front of you. And let's start on the right side. So bring your right leg close to you and place the right foot on the outside of the knee. Make sure you're sitting even. If you want, you can also sit a little bit higher here on the back or something. And inhale, elongate the back. And exhale, twist your right side. And just stay here. This twist is a great neutralizer for back bends. Let's do one more inhalation here. One more exhalation, going a bit deeper here. And then inhale, come to your center. And exhale, come into a counter twist. Try to place both of your hands in front of you. It's actually kind of hard for me sometimes. And then come back to your center. And change the legs. So right leg is long, left leg will come closer, and then it comes on the outside of the right leg. And then you can inhale here. And exhale, twist to the left side. And every inhalation, try to become a little bit longer. And every exhalation, go a little bit deeper into twist. And then on your next inhalation, come back to your center. And exhale, twist to the right side, with a counter twist. And then come back to your center, and you can stretch out both of the legs. We're gonna do a full forward bend, the Paschimottanasana. I'm gonna do a variation because my hamstrings are kind of not doing so well these days. If you want, you can do the normal version, so you're just leaning forward here. Or if you want, you can do the variation with me where I bend my legs a bit and I put some blocks. You can also roll up a blanket for this. So you can put something below your legs so they are like nicely propped up and they are a little bit bent. Or you can also do it without the prop actually. Make sure that you're still sitting on your sitting bones and your hips are tilted forward. And then inhale here. And exhale, come to the forward bend. This should very nicely neutralize your back. You can also change the props while you are in your place. Maybe this was a little bit high. Wherever you are, try to extend your back. And from that line, moving on top of your legs. And on your next inhalation, you can start coming up. And we only have one thing left to do, which is the Shavasana. So if you want to bring something, like some clothes or a blanket to put on top of you, then you can bring it now. I'll just put back my socks. And then make yourself comfortable for your Shavasana. I will also show you a variation here that I really like. You can also do the classic one, where you're just kind of lying down, opening the arms and so on. I will show you a variation how you can use blocks to make the Shavasana a little bit more comfortable. So what you can do is that you can place the blocks below your thighs, like right under the butt pretty much, so like very close to the butt. And that will take off a little bit of the like pressure from your lower back, so that's just a very nice and comforting thing for the lower back. Yeah, and for now, for me that's something so super nice. So come down in your own variation of Shavasana. If you want, you can also go back to the resting pose that we had in the beginning of the class with the legs up. And let your arms fall to the side of the body, the palms can face up. Give yourself enough space to the side if you have it. Give yourself a couple more breaths, more deep breaths. Release whatever tension. And you can leave the practice behind. Probably remember. And just allow the breath to please naturally. Just stay with the relaxing. Then you can start deepening your breath again. Start coming back to the present moment. You can bring a bit of movement back to your hands, your foot. Move your fingers, put your hands into fists, and release them. Move around your toes a bit. And then if you feel like you can also stretch very long. Maybe you feel the extra space that you created around your spine. And then roll to your favorite side and come into an embryo pose for a moment. Allow the earth to carry you. And then with the strength of your hands, you can come back into a comfortable seat. And as you arrive in this seat, maybe notice the difference between like how you were in the beginning of the class and how you are now. You can gently rub your hands on your thighs, thanking them for the hard work that they did today. And so your calves for all the balancing, and your ankles and your foot. And you can also give yourself a big hug, grabbing both of the shoulder blades for all the great work that you did today. And that you honor your practice in your body today. And I would like to thank you for participating today. And I hope to see you soon. So yeah, I'm back with some extra motivation to teach. So I think this might become a regular thing again. I'll try to keep it up, and I hope you can also keep it up with the energy. And maybe soon when the weather gets better, we can also meet in person. It's gonna be super nice. And yeah, until then, take care, and I hope you have a very nice week. Ciao, ciao.